What you're seeing here is not a scene from a movie. This is how Russian forces actually moved into combat near Pokrovsk. Just a day ago, it's not the type of military push anyone expected to see, but as strange and improvised as these vehicles look, they are surprisingly well suited for a battlefield dominated by drones. The clip that spread yesterday showed Russian troops entering the outskirts of Pokrovsk using motorbikes, stripped down pickup trucks, and old vans with their doors removed. A Russian correspondent known as Two Majors commented on this footage, saying, "This is modern warfare, drones everywhere. You can't advance large groups of infantry or heavy equipment. Everything is in small teams, and both sides are flying dozens of drones over every assault." Just a few days earlier, a single Russian soldier was attacked by 7 Ukrainian FPV drones in under a minute. Whether he survived or not is unclear, but it shows the insane drone density above the battlefield, and if Ukraine spends 7 drones on one man, imagine what they'll throw at a tank or an armored convoy. This explains why big armored pushes almost never work anymore. Russia tried several limited armored assaults recently, platoon-sized, company-sized, even battalion-sized attacks. Almost all of the vehicles were hunted down, some taking 10 or more drone strikes before being completely knocked out. Those as not destroyed were heavily damaged, and the infantry they carried rarely made it far before being detected and hit by drones. Two majors pointed out that during this foggy morning movement, an unusually high number of Russian troops and vehicles managed to reach the frontline zone. He said the front line doesn't even exist as a clean line anymore. It's a 20-kilometer deep zone of overlapping infiltrations, and the fog essentially blinded the drones, allowing these movements to happen. He described the vehicles in the convoy: doors removed, sides cut open, and deliberately so. The idea is simple. If a drone is spotted incoming, soldiers can instantly jump out and run without getting trapped inside metal boxes. Some Russian armored vehicles were even seen with their heavy doors replaced by flexible rubber sheets to speed up escape. During previous assaults, many Russian tanks took 5 or more drone hits in under 15 seconds. Even with armor, once drones are swarming you, staying inside becomes deadly. This is why Russia relies increasingly on these cheap, disposable vehicles. Two majors admitted that everyone wants to see modern APCs, IFVs, and new buggies. But the reality is harsh. These old improvised vehicles are sometimes the only way troops can move supplies without getting destroyed instantly. And this isn't unique to Russia. Ukrainian brigades face the exact same problem. Some units have to walk long distances, 10, 20, sometimes more kilometers, to get supplies to the front or evacuate casualties because vehicles simply don't survive the trip. Even Ukraine's airborne and mechanized units have requested basic pickup trucks, night vision devices, and simple transport options because their vehicles get destroyed so quickly. Near Pokrovsk especially, anything with wheels becomes a target the moment it moves. Now, about drone visibility. Rain often grounds drones entirely, not because of cameras but because they can't stay airborne. Fog is different. Drones can fly, but many can't see clearly. And since most drones don't have thermal camera, mainly due to cost, they become much less effective in heavy fog. Some drones with thermal still work, but you can't outfit every unit with expensive sensors when 40 to 50 drones might be airborne at once in a single area. This fog created a rare opportunity. Russian and Ukrainian forces both took advantage of it. In fact, Ukraine even managed to push a tank into the open in broad daylight in the town of Rodynske, something normally suicidal in clear conditions. Let's look at Pokrovsk itself. Russian correspondents are trying to lower public expectations, saying not to expect thousands of Ukrainian prisoners. Some analysts previously claimed that 5,000 Ukrainian soldiers might get encircled, but now Russian sources say many defenders will slip out, get hit, regroup, or fight again in new pockets. Surprisingly, Russian channels also circulated a completely AI-generated fake video showing Ukrainian troops retreating from Pokrovsk. It fooled many people until it was confirmed as fake. From the Ukrainian side, the 25th Brigade shared footage showing Russian forces advancing in small groups of 3 or using motorized transport teams. Ukrainian drone units said they launch dozens of drones every day to hit these attempts. Another clip surfaced of the same fog-covered road toward Pokrovsk, but this time filled with burnt vehicles, suggesting that many of the ones we saw moving in the fog might have been destroyed later. Maybe, maybe not. Every road leading to Pokrovsk has destroyed vehicles on both sides, so it's hard to verify which convoy ended up where. Let's zoom out for a moment. North of Pokrovsk, drone warfare is reaching insane levels. In some sectors, there are more drones than infantry positions in forest belts can change hands 3 or 4 times in a single day. What was controlled ground yesterday becomes a gray zone by morning. Even fortified forest lines no longer provide real cover. Drones see through everything. Russian pockets of resistance have been resupplied by air for weeks, and many are still being pushed back by Ukrainian forces. While Pokrovsk grabs attention, another major hotspot is developing in Zaporizhzhia. Zelensky warned that Russia is increasing its assaults there too. Using weather conditions to their advantage, Ukraine continues to hit back, but the situation is difficult. In Zaporizhzhia, the battlefield looks more traditional: heavy artillery duels, guided air-dropped bombs. Infantry pushes fewer drones than Pokrovsk, but still plenty. Some settlements have already changed hands, and Ukrainian sources confirm that Russian forces have numerical superiority in several key areas. Deep State Map reports that Russia has increased pressure east of the Zaporizhzhia front, expanding gray zones and taking additional territory. There are concerns that if Russian advances continue from both the east and south, Ukrainian defensive lines may become overstretched. Russian sources claimed their motorized rifle units forced Ukrainian troops out of several positions, capturing equipment and causing losses among 2 Ukrainian platoons. These claims are typical in war, but they align with visual evidence showing Ukraine under pressure in that region. Drones rule everything. Fog created a rare window for Russian units to move in groups instead of crawling one by one. Both armies are forced to rely on motorcycles, buggies, and unarmored vehicles. Large armored pushes are nearly impossible without getting swarmed. The wider front is shifting, especially in Zaporizhzhia, where Russia is trying to exploit weather and numerical advantage. Modern warfare is no longer about who has the biggest tank column, it's about who can move unseen, who can survive the drones overhead, and who can exploit even a few hours of bad weather. This is the reality of combat in 2025, a battlefield where drones outnumber soldiers, the fog becomes a weapon, and motorcycles matter more than armored vehicles.